Let's talk T-Wolves here. I just watched the Timberwolves lose an extremely winnable game to the Charlotte Hornets, who did not have LaMelo Ball or Gordon Hayward. Yeah, the Hornets win this game. They were down double digits at halftime. T-Wolves looked completely flat after the break, and despite their execution down the stretch of this game being solid, they can't finish a game that they should have finished, despite holding Charlotte to 19 in the fourth quarter, because they lost the third quarter by 18 points. And before I get to ripping on this team, I understand for pretty much all of the videos I've made about the Timberwolves this year, I've been pretty negative. I've been a little bit harsh. I definitely didn't like the trade and didn't like it a couple weeks ago when I talked about them last after such a disappointing start to the season. The team is 10-9 right now. So they're still above 500. They've started with a better record than they started last year with. This loss actually snapped a 5-game winning streak. So the team has been hitting a stride recently. It's not like it's been all bad. But you take a look at some of these games they won. They went into Cleveland. They beat the Cavs with no Donovan Mitchell and no Jared Allen, although there was a 51-point Darius Garland performance in this game. But it was probably D'Angelo Russell's best game of the season with 30 points. 11 assists on 11 of 13 shooting. Go into Orlando, get a W. You go into Philly and get a W. That was the game where Embiid got hurt. And the Timberwolves won this game somehow, but they were trying to choke this game. You beat Miami without like any of their players besides Bam. And then their most impressive win of the season, I think, was in Indiana the other day, playing a team that spaces the floor out. You had Miles Turner knocking down 7 triples, and you win this game by double digits. And it was a great team performance. There was great balance among the starters in terms of shot distribution. This was the best the team looked all year. 5-game winning streak, you're riding high, and you're going into Charlotte for what should be an easy way to extend the streak. You know how the NBA goes, especially this year. Any given night, doesn't matter who's playing, it could go any possible way. And this game, I think, encapsulated a lot of my problem with this team. In this video, I'm just gonna talk about what I saw in this game against the Hornets. Anthony Edwards scores 16 of his 25 in the first half and proceeds to look really bad down the stretch of this game. It seems like him and Karl-Anthony Towns, by the way, who went 0 for 8 from 3 in the second half. They just want to hang out by the three-point line and be chucking up dumb shots. And we get 2 air balls from Anthony Edwards down the stretch of this game. The only thing that was working for this team on offense to get them back into the game was actually the D'Lo Rudy Gobert pick and roll. In the fourth quarter, they were just spamming this play over and over again, and it was working. I mean, they could just keep going to that, and then once the defense really figured out what was going on, they could use other options off of that, and use that pick and roll to kind of get other guys open off the ball, like Ant and Cat. But it was only every once in a while that Ant or Cat would actually like take the ball to the rim or like try to make a play that wasn't just them chucking up a 3. And this is the problem. You got Karl-Anthony Towns out here thinking he's Klay Thompson. You need to establish a rhythm inside to get going. I know it's not like he does this every single game, but far too much this year, if Rudy Gobert's in the game, he can't find a way to involve himself inside the arc. It's all gotta be 3-point shots a lot of the time. And they play so big this whole game. I mean, they lost critical sequences of this game because Charlotte was going small and they were scoring points in transition or off turnovers. If you're a team with this level of size that can't really compete in transition, you just can't be turning over the ball. And then with all that size, at the end of the game, you basically lose at the end because you can't secure an offensive rebound. So all that size for what? Something I can conclude from this and the fact that they were running these D'Lo Gobert actions, which, by the way, D'Angelo Russell looked really bad at certain points of this game, but down the stretch of the game, I thought he was awesome. When he decides to be locked in and really disciplined to not take bad shots, to get his teammates involved, especially, he is the only guy on this team that's really going to involve Rudy Gobert on the offensive end. And you can see why that would be the case, because he's just not an offensive option to create a shot. You give him the ball when he's open, down low, with a chance to score, where he is going to score, as long as he can literally catch the ball. Down the stretch, they were running these pick and rolls, and Rudy scores some points off of them, but critical sequence, just under 2 minutes left, and you're throwing him a lob that most centers in the NBA are catching this. You don't have to dunk the ball. If you can't grab it with one hand, you just grab it with 2 hands and come down. You still would have been able to go up and dunk it. This guy thinks he's Kawhi palming the ball, and he just taps it like a volleyball into a mess of players. And it's like, you lose possession because of this. This is 2 points just materializing in front of you and then just evaporating when you try to do this. So yeah, it's good that they were able to get this to work. It's good that you can involve Rudy Gobert on offense. But the problem is, when you do this so much of the time, your two primary scorers on the team, they're just standing around and they're not the beneficiary enough. I've seen a lot of criticism for D'Angelo Russell this season, and a lot of it is certainly valid. Early, especially in these first 10 games or so, he was absolutely brutal and a large contributor to why they were bad. Surely not the sole contributor. I mean, we know there was a lot of reasons, but he's been playing a lot better, and when he's involved in the offense in this way, it is actually better for the team. The other guys are really going to have to find out how to play alongside him and not be the center of attention. But you got to think, who else on the team is going to involve Rudy in the game? Because Rudy is a really good screen setter, but if he's never going to get the ball, the defense doesn't really have to pay attention to him after he sets a screen. Whereas if D'Lo's feeding him, that's just another way that they can get people open. Who else on the team is going to run offense and do that? We already know Anthony Edwards doesn't want to pass this guy the ball. So not only do a lot of the guys, they don't really look like they want to play team ball. I'm seeing Anthony Edwards take bad shots in this game. Contested pull-up shots early in the shot clock. You don't need to shoot that. But this is just my reaction to this game. It was absolutely awful. And I know it's not necessarily a summary of who the Wolves have been this year. They have been playing well lately, especially just way better than they were playing in the beginning. And that win against the Pacers, that was awesome stuff, because you're up against a team that really does execute 5-out offensive strategy that Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert may not love going out to guard and having to chase guys. That's definitely not their comfort zone. And I think that's definitely a game they would have lost early in the year. They've lost all these games like Phoenix, Memphis, Milwaukee, Phoenix again. The closest they got in any of these games was 9. Yeah, that's going to do it. This is just my immediate reaction to the Timberwolves losing to the Charlotte Hornets today. And it's been Bucketology. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm out. Peace.